You would think visiting Dubrovnik for 4 days alone would take up all of your time, and you're probably right. But we had a day trip lined up that proved to be worth the time away. We were going to experience a captivating excursion from Dubrovnik to the charming town of Ston. And then we will continue our adventure into the lush vineyards that sprawl across the hillsides to enjoy a wine tasting, discovering the region's robust red wines and crisp whites. Then off to Mali Ston Bay, where we will visit a family-run oyster farm and get a chance to sample the best oysters we will ever taste. Finally, in the evening back in Dubrovnik, we will take a boat ride to Cavtat for a dinner at a local restaurant. A jam-packed day with Croatian delights. I'm Mike Dalton. I'm a teacher and a traveler, and this is Dalton's Detours. Ston in southern Dalmatia is by and large known for three things: its very well preserved town walls, its salt works, and its mussels. If you pay a visit to this part of the peninsula, be sure to encounter at least two of these three things. But by far, the city walls are what this little town is best known for, and rightfully so. The walls are much longer than those of its more famous neighbor, Dubrovnik, at 3 miles in length. This makes them the longest defensive structure in Europe. They are sometimes even referred to as the European Walls of China. But since I had already trekked the King's Landing walls of Dubrovnik, I decided to skip this little adventure and have her wander around the town. Plus, to be honest, the walk up those walls looked brutal. Ston is a charming little town and a nice stop off as we head into the peninsula. Try to live life here, right?
Some of you went to walk the wall a little bit and the rest, did you have a good time? Did you look around a little bit? Okay, now we are heading towards Potomje. Potomje is, we can say, one of the most popular wine growing areas because just next to Potomje is the famous Dingač Hill, a geographically protected area.
Now for a must-do activity if I'm ever in a country that focuses on wine. Good old-fashioned wine tour. I am by no means an expert on wine, but I do love a wine tasting, and I do love a wine tour. And I've heard a great deal about Croatian wines over the years, and had my fair share this past week. We drove through the stunning landscapes of the Pelješac Peninsula, one of Croatia's most famous wine regions. Breathtaking views of rolling vineyards, rugged mountains, and of course the Adriatic Sea. We finally made our way to Matuško Winery in Potomje. From a tiny wine cellar visited by a small number of tourists, Winery Matuško has been transformed into one of the largest in the region. Wine expert Mato Violik Matuško presents and offers top quality regional wines. The family has been dedicated to grapes and wine for generations. Although they have modernized the process itself, the work is based on the rich tradition and the culture of creation that their grandfather nurtured. They want the wine to tell the story and history of their homeland, yet provide its own distinctive character. The cellar was impressive, with hundreds, if not thousands, of barrels and bottles. It is also equipped with a tasting and conference hall in addition to the wine. But more importantly, we got a chance to sample the product.
our vineyards here in Kielce, in the continental part around our village. Classic portrait, 1 year in the still tank. It's amazing. You don't take monthly, so it's like, oh, 10 or 15 years, I think. It's a post, how I told you. Ostap, it's also the protected wine area, like a dingač, but it's smaller than dingač, and it's it's in the middle between Oravić and Potomje. The variety of grapes, it's also Plavac Mali.
Ston Bay is where you will find the oyster beds that produce what are often said to be the most delicious oysters in the world. And we were heading to the Marikultura Mario, a family-owned shellfish farm known for its high-quality fresh oysters and mussels that come to your plate straight from the sea. This farm is part of several TV shows almost every year, attracting journalists and guests from all over the world. We jump onto a wooden boat that was bought and restored by the family to offer an authentic experience in the bay. What makes the shells from this area unique is the combination of freshwater and seawater of incredible purity. This is an essential component that makes these oysters unique in the world. And according to the family, there are 3 essential characteristics of Ston oysters. It refreshes, it calms, and it encourages love. They are well known as a natural aphrodisiac. Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty, and lust, was born, as artists see it, in a shell. And if you ask the people of Ston, they have no doubt that shell was an oyster. The best way to serve oysters is directly from the sea, with a splash of lemon and eaten by hand. We had a chance to try these amazing oysters and the mussels, and I have to say, they're the best I've ever had.
It's our host and our hostess Nikica.
Platformu pored uzgajališta da bi vam prezentirali način uzgoja malostonske kamenice da bi isto degustirali.
So this is a platform just next to this farm, and here Mr. Mario is going to show us now and tell us a little bit about the production of oysters and the breeding of oysters.
Znači, ovdje u Valjevu uzgajamo europsku malostonsku kamenicu, latinskog naziva Oyster.
So here in this Bay of Ston, we are actually breeding a European oyster, which is in Latin Ostrea edulis.
Početak proizvodnje kamenice, godišnje. U more polažemo ove plastične kolektore. Kako nas prate ove po 100 komada na svaki. I zašto ih stavljamo u teći? Da bi ih zaštitili od ribe.
They put it in here so that they can protect them from fish.
4 sata filtrira 240 litara mora.
So each of these oysters filters 240 liters of seawater done in a day.
Kameni su najbolji u zimskom periodu.
The oysters are the best in the winter season from November until May.
Možda im još reći da se sva uzgojna područja u Evropi kontroliraju svaka 2 tjedna.
Everywhere that the oysters and the mussels are being produced, every 2 weeks there is a lab control, and here it is always of the highest quality.
You're an enabler, okay? Jubilee.
You just denounced your Croatian heritage. Did you hear it?
I'm Swiss.
We headed back to Dubrovnik to catch our boat for dinner. This was an even more impressive wooden vessel than the one we encountered in Mali Ston. We are heading to Cavtat.
Hello to everyone. My name is Timothy. Nice to meet you, all of you. We have a Cavtat.
Dilute it.
Down it.
Dilute it.
Do it. Hey, there's no carbonation. It's fine. No caffeine.
Straight acid.
Yeah.
No problem.
She would say it's good for your digestion.
One of the most attractive destinations on the Adriatic coast. Impressive architecture, rich history, and a more Mediterranean vibe. It is a popular getaway for the rich and famous who arrive on impressive yachts and sailboats, which are docked along the beautiful promenade throughout the summer months. And it's a great place to have dinner and see the sunset.
Walter White.
There he is. He's freaking breaking bad.
We ate at the restaurant Layut, run by the Bobic family since 1971. We had a set menu and got a choice of seafood or meat. Seafood was a logical choice in the setting, of course. I chose meat. Not sure why, just seemed to be in the mood after a week of seafood. The dishes were beautiful and tasty, the wine spectacular, and the setting absolutely incredible. A highly recommended place to grab some food and watch the sun go down.
Keep an eye on it. They're looking at striking.
For a lot of people, yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's good. It's like a super thick deal.
This is Dalton's Detours.